People rising to fame, getting rich, all while doing it in a short amount of time, then quickly collapsing towards rock bottom is a tale as old as time. We have seen it probably hundreds of times in the past 30 years since the rise of the crave to fame, but it doesn't hit anyone else as hard as it does to niche internet micro celebrities. Jokes aside, it's really easy these days to become a spectacle on the internet or to build some kind of audience. Either you have it or you don't. That's really all there is to it. And with that comes either a lot of ridicule and jokes at your expense because you're some kind of spurgy LOLCOW, or you become a well-respected member of whatever community you started in. In some cases, people will even find themselves with a newfound status and wealth that they really don't know what to do with, and it can sometimes lead to irresponsible and catastrophic actions that will ultimately ruin their lives. This is kind of the case with Rikita, a lawyer who became pretty popular here on YouTube for his coverage of individuals such as Vic Mignogna and Johnny Depp, as well as other internet personalities such as Poppy and Maddox. Nick Rikita being a lawyer made him a somewhat credible individual to a lot of people, and for some people he was either loved or hated for being a sort of contrarian, which added a bit to his charm and personality. And Rikita now boasts 450,000 subscribers, so it's safe to say that yeah, this individual is somewhat recognizable on this corner of the internet. More recently though, instead of Rikita maintaining that respect or value that he once had, he's really been going on a very fast and tumbling downward spiral. I want to say that Rikita's increasingly self-destructive and foul behavior started really being noticed in the last year or so, but anyone who knows more than me can feel free to correct me. This video will actually just be a sort of warning to anyone and everyone about what letting yourself go can really do, because Rikita's situation, believe it or not, is one of those that can really happen to anyone if they let their grip of reality loose and start losing focus of priorities. Priorities that will keep you a sane, grounded, and collected individual. And I say that it can happen to anyone because I do mean anyone. You could be a perfectly normal individual. You don't even have to have fame. And if you just let loose a little bit, if you let things catch you by surprise and don't resume control of your life, things like this can really happen to you at any time. First and foremost, I want to say that Rikita is definitely a substance abuser, and we will get into why I say this a bit later, because some people are still debating whether or not he's actually an addict. We can see glimpses into this on some of his streams, videos, and other recordings, because one thing he does frequently is drink. Some people may argue that having a glass of whiskey every once in a while isn't that big of a deal, or that real alcoholics may drink significantly more, but anyone who's met an alcoholic knows that a lot of the time they're gonna hide their indulgence of alcohol until they're too drunk to consciously hide it.
Nikki941 says, as someone who worked in a liquor store, I found the one who called you an alcoholic yesterday hilarious. The amount of wine or liquor the real alcoholics can put away will blow your mind. Cheers. Look, I appreciate the sentiment. I don't. There's no point in arguing against it. You can't convince someone that you're not doing something to the level that they think. There's no way. Like, prove to me you're not drinking enough or enough to be an alcoholic. And you're like, well, I mean, I don't think so. I've seen other people drink a lot more. And they're like, see. It's like, what? See what? I don't know what to tell you. I don't know, man. My definition of addiction is one, an unrelenting desire for a thing, right? That's part of it. Two, that then takes control and impacts what you do in some way or another. It impacts your family life, your social life, your employment or economic life. So yeah, right. Like drug addicts who spend all their money on drugs, that's an impact. I think that it's now affecting your life, right? Like that's a problem. I don't think personally that my alcohol consumption gets there. I have certainly overconsumed alcohol from time to time. No bones about that. There are specific times that I've mentioned on the show. But like it's not something that I wait and crave for, except for right now when I'm going to pour myself whiskey because we're talking about it and I can't not do it. But I don't know. I don't want to argue against people like getting fought in the "you're an addict, no, I'm not" trap is an impossible discussion.
And not to mention this clip here where as Rikita is defending his alcoholism, he literally decides to pull a bottle from under his desk and pour himself a glass and licks the bottle. Ironically, in this clip, Rikita is arguing what constitutes addiction, saying that he is not an addict, while saying that an addict will not realize they're an addict, and then proceeds to drink more.
There is no level of thing you can do to convince an addict they're addicted, but similarly, there's no thing you can say to argue against addiction convincingly, because everything sounds like a justification for your addiction. So people will make their own determinations, and I'll just be here drinking whiskey. It makes me want to drink more. Unironically, I find it so goddamn funny that they have now spent days being not mad about it. Whew. All right.
First, I've never seen someone who is supposedly not an addict lick the top of a bottle that way, or at least not the way he does. It just gives me the creeps. Second, Rikita on multiple occasions has streamed while heavily intoxicated, behaving in very erratic ways, and I have just a clip to showcase this in a bit. And third, just look at Rikita just 2 years apart. Look at the color of his skin and volume of his face now compared to then. It's a significant difference. You can actually see color and life in his face just 2 years ago, but almost nothing now. And here's the clip I was talking about.
Why is my camera so low?
You can obviously tell what he's doing. He has no care in the world at this point. He's just too far off the walk to care. He only ever acknowledges that the camera is still on after the fact, on some dark side Phil shit, and even then, he still doesn't care. He's too gone to feel shame at this point. This type of behavior isn't even the only example of him just being off the rails. I want to bring up the Mandy situation just to show how depraved Rikita has been for a while now. If you don't know about this, what happened is that Rikita got catfished by a fan that went by the name of Mandy, and there was this video that started circulating of him singing to Mandy in regards to some pictures that she sent to him, apparently. And I'll let you see the clip for yourself.
Oh, Mandy, you came and you teased with the picture. Now fucking go to bed, oh, Mandy. Drink time.
I wonder what that bottle is for. Surely my boy Rikita here isn't an alcoholic or anything. I find this so strange, so uncanny, because why would you sing to a fan about some pictures? And also, Rikita never verified if this was a real person, by the way. And then right after the fact, cartoonishly pull out a giant bottle of whiskey. Like, what brings you to do something like this? What brings you to behave in this sort of manner? Like, you don't know if this person is real. You're excited about some potential news you may have received. And the bottle of whiskey? Yeah, this dude was definitely always a weirdo. Which brings me to this clip of Rikita rambling about how he doesn't care about his life anymore and was practically begging this same catfish to fly out to Anime Matsuri so he could sign her breasts.
I will 100%. I've changed my mind on this. Mandy, I will sign your tits. I'm done. I'm done with life. Mandy, show up at Anime Matsuri. I will sign your tits. I dare you to show up. Wherever on your tits you like, I will sign them. Take that. Take that. I'm done with everybody. I'm done with propriety. I'm done with everything on this fucking planet. You pick the spot. I'll sign the tits. Write me a lawyer note for work. Sure. Whatever you want. Lady Raggeds kills you both. Then I die signing tits. I don't care anymore about anything. Mandy says, probably not. I have to work. So all this is for nothing. I'm not going to rest my forearm on some succulent soft titties while I sign them with my pen. well, what the fuck is this? Here we go.
Like, okay, buddy, you have a wife. Why are you so excited about meeting some chick you don't even know actually exists? Anyways, pointless LOLCOW history bullshit aside, it's very evident to anyone who's been keeping up with Rikita for a while that, yeah, Rikita is a fucking nutjob, and he has been for quite a while. And before anyone says, you're just spouting surface level information, I gotta say, yes, I am, because not everyone knows about the Rikita lore, which I have to fill everyone in on as condensed and as fast as possible so I can get into the real shit. Real quick, the clip with Rikita straight up jorking it, straight up cranking his hog, I want to say that's what really restarted this week's spotlight onto Rikita. People were worried about his health, his alcohol consumption, and potential drug abuse. People were fighting amongst each other saying that he's not an alcoholic or an addict and he was just going through a tough time. Some people, like me, were theorizing that he would only be caught on camera so carelessly just jorking it if he was heavily under the influence. This wouldn't just be a random accident. But no one could have imagined the outcome to that drama. Just yesterday, as of recording this video, literally just yesterday, Rikita and his wife were arrested for 5th-degree possession of controlled substances, aka illegal drugs, as well as possession of firearms and ammunition. Just yesterday, it was all speculation on whether this would actually be a conviction or not, but today we have massive updates just 24 hours later. I'm sorry if I sound excited, but I usually like to wait on drama to unfold before talking about it so I can get my information straight, but I have never seen drama develop this quick, because we even got a live stream this morning of Rikita's first court appearance.
Presenting yourself at this point?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
He's representing
Count
himself,
one
as they
is
just said.
second-degree possession, 25 grams or more of cocaine or methamphetamine. This is in violation of Minnesota Statute 152.022, subdivision 2, print A, print 1.
Ding dong is
The
not me, in
maximum
case you're
sentence for that count is 25 years in prison and/or a $500,000 fine.
Holy shit.
Count 2 is possession of ammunition or any firearm with the user of controlled substances. This is a gross misdemeanor, so the maximum sentence is 364 days in the Kansas County Jail and/or a $3,000 fine. Count 3, endangerment of a child when present with a sale or possession of a controlled substance.
Oh, he's
Again,
fucked.
a gross misdemeanor. Maximum.
Do all your coke out, Nick, and kill yourself, you stupid motherfucker.
Someone has
I'm going to
Zoom
warn
bombed it.
everyone again. This is a court proceeding. If you were in a courtroom with me,
Yeah.
that would remove you. So,
They can't stop the Zoom bombers.
any
Judge, I would-
violation of that will be removed. Ms. Block?
Judge, I just disabled people the ability to unmute themselves, so I will work to
Oh
unmute
my God.
people as
The
they
clerk
need to
did
speak
it.
to
The
court
clerk
this
is a
morning.
hero.
All right, thank you. Aside from Mr. Rekieta and Mr. Kornahachi, no one needs to at this point. Lastly, I think I was saying that the count 3 gross misdemeanor has a maximum sentence of 364 days and/or a $3,000 fine. Mr. Rekieta, you understand what you've been charged with? And second question, the maximum sentences associated with each count?
Yes, Your Honor.
All right. Now,
Yeah,
I
Your
don't mean
Honor.
to insult your intelligence, given you are an attorney, but it's important that I know that you understand your rights here. First of all,
Right off the bat, just like that, we already know what Rikita has been charged with, and we also got confirmation on exactly what other drugs Rikita was in possession of and possibly under the influence of. So this video was actually recorded preemptively, but I am going to add right now before we get to the rest of the video that he was actually charged with possession of 25 grams of cocaine and also other drugs such as ketamine and even methamphetamine. So yeah, this dude is pretty much cooked. He definitely was an addict. Like, for what reason would you even possess 25 grams of cocaine for? Typically, the average possession is anywhere between 1 to 2 grams. So what the fuck was this guy doing with 25 grams? But knowing that, let's get back to the video. Look, as much as some people may hate this guy or wish on his downfall, we really shouldn't see it in that way. There is a very real lesson to be learned here from Rikita's actions of how we should conduct ourselves, not just because we get fame or fortune on the internet, but also if we are just regular people, because a downward spiral can happen to anyone at any time. Keep in mind, Rikita, as mentioned in that video, has kids. 5 kids, to be exact. I would hate for that to have ever been my parents, or for other kids to experience something as catastrophic as their parents being under the influence of cocaine and meth, then being arrested, then being charged for possession and child endangerment. Imagine the trauma that these kids have to bear now. I wouldn't wish this type of outcome on my worst enemy due to how much is actually at stake here. Yes, Rikita is a terrible person who did terrible things and spent the last couple of years throwing his life away. I'm not saying that we shouldn't clown Rikita or admonish his behavior. I absolutely think we should clown him. I just spent 5 minutes doing it by explaining how much of a loser he is. I don't want anyone to take this as me sympathizing for him. I'm just saying that there are things here that are much bigger than petty drama and quarrels and disagreements. I know Rikita has made a lot of enemies, especially him being on the farm. There's people who absolutely have been waiting for a day like this, but at the end of the day, this affects a lot more. Not to be a high and mighty moral preacher, but again, there is a lot to be learned from the situation, and I feel like so many people can walk away from this and learn that there are things that we should hold ourselves accountable for on a day-to-day basis. That's all I really got for today. I didn't want to put a lot of effort into this video because honestly, the situation is more shameful than funny. These are real issues with real people after all, not some fat loser wanting to rizz up goth mommies every other week while claiming he's pan or gay. But that's besides the point. That's really all I got for today. Anyways, later.